Whether it's the incessant bad news that comes at us from all directions or just our own entrepreneurial squirrel brain, sometimes we need to get back into a state of focus after being distracted and pulled in a million different directions. In this video, I'm going to share 5 quick, easy, powerful tactics that you can use right now to get laser focused on creating the reality that you desire. My name is Kaye Putnam. I'm the psychology-driven brand strategist. I have my own entrepreneurial squirrel brain that I deal with on the regular, and I consider myself an expert on getting back on track. I can't wait to share these 5 tactics with you. You don't have to use all 5. Pick whichever one sounds the most fun. Do it now and get back to building the life and the business that you're meant to build. First tactic is to write a list of the things that you could do that are closest to the money. At the end of the day, we are in business to make sales, to generate revenue, to help and impact people. So if we are being pulled in a bunch of different directions, the easiest way to channel our focus is to ask ourselves that question. What can I do right now that's closest to the sale? Often when I ask myself this, I realize that I have been delaying about getting a client kicked off or even sending an invoice, as simple as that can be, or replying to a lead that came in. Whatever is the most likely to generate sales and revenue for you, put your focus there and see how things compound over time. Second tactic to reset your focus is to write a T-chart, like back in school. One hand, write your desires. What do you want? Oftentimes we get stuck in this busyness of doing, checking things off of our to-do list. We forget why in the world we're actually doing the things that we're doing. So what do you desire right now? And then on the other half of the T-chart, write down what decisions can you make to get you closer to that desire. When I did this recently, I realized that I desired to have more flexibility in my schedule, less scheduled calls, less scheduled appointments on my calendar. And one decision that I could make as a result of that is how I structure my group program that I am opening the doors to, called the Brand Clarity Collective. I have this very beautiful, simple way of showing up and serving in that program. We have 3 monthly calls. One of them is me, it's a group call. Another one is a guest expert that I'm bringing in from my network. And then another one is a deep dive into a single person's brand. But I'm able to serve everybody that's in that mastermind program, the Brand Clarity Collective, shameless plug, in that call structure, as opposed to selling something that requires a lot of one-on-one calls. Also, I realized that the more that I show up and I create content like this one here on YouTube or wherever I'm showing up, that means that I get to be in control of that schedule. So that's another example of a decision that I can make once I recognize my desire to have more flexibility in my schedule. So what are your desires, and then what decisions can you make today to help make that a little bit closer to being your reality? Tactic number 3, similar vein, but different results. So instead of just asking yourself, what do you desire right now, which can be limiting by our brain based on what we think is possible for ourselves right now, ask yourself, what is your 10-year vision? What is this ultimate reality that you're moving towards? Not just what can happen next week or next year, but what could be possible? What do you want to be possible in a 10-year time period? I can't remember who said it, but somebody smart said that we overestimate how much we can get done in a day, and we underestimate how much we can get done in a year. And now multiply all of what's possible in a year times 10, and we can completely change our entire life. But it's hard to do that, and it's hard to feel a sense of fire and focus unless you know what that 10-year vision is. Full disclosure, vulnerability, some of the things that are on my 10-year vision list is I want to own a big chunk of land in the North Carolina mountains and build like a cool glamping / permaculture project out there. And then I also want to spend summers in Tuscany in Italy on a regular basis. And I want to start a mastermind called Mountain Mind, where I take a very small, intimate group of high-performing entrepreneurs to different places in the mountains, whether that's here in North Carolina or in Colorado or the Dolomites or the Alps in Europe, and have a mastermind in-person event called Mountain Mind. So those are all things that are on my farther away vision list that keep me really excited about whatever I'm working on today and this week and this month. So what's on your 10-year vision list? Let me know in the comments. I love hearing about people's dreams and big audacious goals. Please share in the comments below what's on your 10-year vision list. Fourth tactic comes from a very well-known productivity guy. He has this quadrant, but I've adapted it to make it more of my own. Essentially, it's doing a brain dump of all of the things that I need to do and classifying the tasks by what is both important and urgent right now, what is important but not urgent, and then I just lump everything else together as like what's neither important or urgent. I think the quadrant actually has what's urgent but not important. So like what emails do you have to reply to? What text messages do you have to reply to? What's like demanding your attention right now, but it's not actually going to make a long-term difference. When I have it broken down like that, it's easier for me to prioritize. I need to make sure that I am moving the needle, not only what's on the urgent side of the house, but I need to make time to focus on those things that are long-term, but they're not necessarily urgent right now. So things like working on my book. It's coming out this fall. I'm really excited. Things like revamping a sales funnel that's like kind of working, but not really working, but it's not demanding my attention right now. Doing financial planning for profit and loss and all of those things. What can I focus on that is going to make a long-term impact in my business, in my life? And then finally, our fifth tactic for resetting your focus and getting moving on the things that matter is to force yourself, reduce your to-do list down to a single item. Blasphemy, I know. None of us want to just have a single item that we get done in a single day, but the reality is when we don't do that, sometimes there are days that we don't get anything done that's important or urgent or close to the money or aligned with our 10-year vision or any of it. So pick one thing. What is that one thing that you could do today that is going to make the biggest difference? When you compound, stack them all up over a long period of time, we're never going to be perfect, but if we can do that consistently, do something important each and every day, just one thing, we'll be amazed at how fast we can collapse time and make a change in our life or in our business. Recording videos was my one thing today. My one thing. Of course, we might add on maybe like 2 or 3 more, like, okay, this is urgent, or like, this is super easy, so I'm just gonna check this off. But make your one thing a non-negotiable on the days that you're working, and force yourself to have that type of specificity and limit the scope of what you're doing. Because that's all that focus is, right? It's putting your blinders on for everything else so that you do things that matter to yourself. Which one of these 5 tactics are you going to try? I hope I kept this short enough to the point to get you moving, to get you back into being the powerful entrepreneur that you are capable of being. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, press thumbs up if you heard something here that you are going to try, and I'll see you in the next video.